The cosmos was a tempestuous cradle, a swirling maelstrom of dust and fire where celestial bodies were forged in the crucible of chaos. In the primordial darkness, Earth was but a fledgling world, its surface a molten sea of magma, its atmosphere a toxic haze. It was a time of violence and creation, a time when the universe itself seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the moment that would change the destiny of two worlds forever. And then it happened. A cataclysm of unimaginable proportions. A collision that would echo through the ages, birthing Earth's eternal companion, the Moon. Theia, a rogue planetesimal, a wanderer of the void, hurtled through the early solar system with a trajectory as inevitable as fate itself. She was a titan, a behemoth of rock and metal, her mass rivaling that of Mars. Her path was set, her destiny intertwined with that of the young Earth. Theia's approach was not a gentle drift but a violent charge, a cosmic dance of destruction and creation. As she drew nearer, the gravitational forces between the two bodies grew stronger, pulling them into an inescapable embrace. Theia's fate was sealed, and so was Earth's. The impact was apocalyptic. Theia struck Earth with a force that defied comprehension, her bulk slamming into the proto-Earth at an oblique angle. The energy released was beyond measure, a blinding flash of light that illuminated the solar system. The collision was not a mere merging of two bodies but a cataclysmic explosion that sent shockwaves rippling through the fabric of space and time. Theia's core, dense and heavy, sank into Earth's molten mantle, while her outer layers were vaporized, ejected into the void in a fiery plume of debris. The Earth itself was transformed. Its surface churned into a seething ocean of magma, its atmosphere stripped away by the sheer force of the impact. From this chaos, the Moon was born. The debris ejected into space began to coalesce, drawn together by gravity's inexorable pull. It was a slow, deliberate process, a cosmic ballet of dust and rock. The particles collided, merged and grew, forming a ring of molten material around the Earth. Over time, this ring condensed into a single, glowing sphere. A newborn world, still molten, still volatile. This was the Moon in its infancy, a fiery orb that radiated heat and light, a beacon in the darkness of space. As the eons passed, the Moon began to cool. Its surface solidified, forming a crust of basaltic rock, while its interior remained molten, a seething cauldron of magma. The young Moon was a world of extremes, its surface scarred by countless impacts, its face marked by vast, dark plains of solidified lava. It was a world in flux, a world still finding its place in the cosmos, but even as it cooled, the Moon's influence on Earth was profound. Its gravitational pull stabilized Earth's axial tilt, creating the stable climate that would one day allow life to flourish. The tides, driven by the Moon's gravity, began to shape Earth's oceans, carving out coastlines and creating the rhythms of the natural world. Dr. Elara Vance, a visionary astrophysicist, stood in her observatory, her eyes fixed on the Moon through the lens of her telescope. She had spent her life studying the origins of the Moon, piecing together the fragments of a story that began billions of years ago. The giant impact hypothesis was her life's work, a theory that had once been met with skepticism but was now widely accepted. As she gazed at the Moon's pockmarked surface, she felt a deep connection to the ancient past, to the moment when Earth and Theia collided, giving birth to the Moon. "It's more than just a satellite," she murmured to herself, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's a testament to the violence and beauty of creation, a reminder that even in destruction, there is the potential for new life." Beside her, Professor Kian Marlow, a geologist and historian, nodded in agreement. "The Moon is a time capsule," he said, his voice filled with reverence. "Its surface holds the secrets of the early solar system, the scars of countless impacts, the remnants of a time when the universe was young. It's a window into our past, a mirror that reflects the history of our world." As they spoke, the Moon seemed to shimmer in the night sky, its silvery light casting a soft glow over the Earth. But the Moon was more than just a passive observer. It was a participant in the story of life, a force that had shaped the destiny of our planet in ways that were still being discovered. In the quiet of the observatory, Elara and Kian felt a sense of awe, a deep appreciation for the moon's role in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. They knew that the moon's story was far from over, that it would continue to influence the Earth for billions of years to come. But they also knew that the moon's origins, its birth from the ashes of a cosmic collision, were a reminder of the fragility and resilience of the universe. And as they stood there, gazing at the moon, they felt a connection to the ancient past, to the moment when Earth and Theia collided, giving birth to a new world. It was a moment of creation, a moment of destruction, a moment that had shaped the destiny of two worlds. And it was a moment that would forever be etched in the history of the cosmos, a testament to the power of the universe to create, to destroy, and to begin anew. The night was alive with whispers, a symphony of shadows and silver light that danced across the ancient landscape. Above, the moon hung like a luminous sentinel, its pale glow casting an ethereal sheen over the earth. It was a time before cities, before empires, before the written word, a time when humanity was still cradled in the arms of nature, its destiny intertwined with the rhythms of the cosmos. And in that primordial world, the moon was more than just a celestial body. It was a guide, a protector, a god. Ayla stood at the edge of the forest, her bare feet sinking into the cool, damp earth. She was young, her body lithe and strong, her eyes sharp with curiosity. The moon was her constant companion, its phases marking the passage of time, its light illuminating her path through the darkness. Tonight it was full, a perfect circle of silver that seemed to pulse with life. Ayla tilted her head back, her gaze fixed on the glowing orb, and felt a shiver of awe ripple through her. The moon was mysterious, its surface a tapestry of light and shadow, its presence both comforting and unsettling. She had heard the elders speak of its power, of its influence on the tides, on the animals, on the very fabric of life. But to Ayla, the moon was more than just a force of nature. It was a story, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. Behind her, the fire crackled, its orange flames casting flickering shadows on the faces of her tribe. They were gathered in a circle, their voices low and reverent as they listened to Elder Tarek, the wise man of the tribe. His voice was deep and resonant, carrying the weight of generations. He spoke of the moon, of its cycles, of its connection to the world around them. Ayla crept closer, her heart pounding with anticipation. She had heard these stories before, but each time they seemed to reveal something new, something deeper. "The moon is our guide," Tarek intoned, his eyes gleaming in the firelight. "It tells us when to hunt, when to plant, when to rest. It is the keeper of time, the guardian of the night. Without the moon we would be lost, adrift in a world without rhythm or reason." Ayla's breath caught in her throat. She had always felt a connection to the moon, but hearing Tarek speak of it with such reverence made her feel as though she were standing on the edge of a great secret, a truth that was just beyond her grasp. She glanced up at the moon again, its light now seeming to beckon her, to call her closer. What secrets did it hold? What stories were etched into its ancient surface? As the night wore on, the tribe began to disperse, retreating to their shelters to sleep. But Ayla remained by the fire, her mind racing with questions. She had always been curious, always eager to learn, to understand. And now, as she gazed at the moon, she felt a burning desire to uncover its mystery. She turned to Tarek, who was still seated by the fire, his eyes closed in contemplation. "Elder Tarek," she said softly, her voice trembling with excitement, "tell me more about the moon. Tell me everything." Tarek opened his eyes and smiled, his weathered face creasing with warmth. "Ah, Ayla," he said, "your curiosity is a gift. The moon has many stories, many secrets, but to understand them, you must first understand its connection to us, to the world we live in." He gestured for her to sit beside him, and she obeyed, her heart pounding with anticipation. Tarek began to speak, his voice weaving a tapestry of words that painted a vivid picture of the moon's influence on their lives. He spoke of the tides, how the moon's gravity pulled at the oceans, creating the ebb and flow that shaped the coastlines. He spoke of the animals, how their behavior changed with the phases of the moon, how the hunters used its light to track their prey. He spoke of the seasons, how the moon's cycles were intertwined with the cycles of the earth, creating the rhythms of life. But Tarek's stories went beyond the practical, beyond the physical. He spoke of the moon as a spiritual force, a being that watched over them, that guided them, that protected them. He told her of the ancient myths, of the moon as a goddess, a mother, a lover. He spoke of the rituals, the ceremonies, the offerings that were made to honor the moon, to ensure its favor. And as he spoke, Ayla felt a deep connection to the moon, as though it were not just a distant object in the sky, but a living, breathing presence. "The moon is a part of us," Tarek said, his voice soft but intense. "It is in our blood, in our bones, in our dreams. To understand the moon is to understand ourselves, to understand the world we live in." Ayla sat in silence, her mind reeling with the weight of Tarek's words. She felt as though she had been given a key, a way to unlock the mysteries of the moon, of the world, of herself. She looked up at the moon again, its light now seeming to fill her, to illuminate her from within. She felt a surge of determination, a resolve to learn everything she could, to uncover the secrets of the moon, to understand its connection to her tribe, to the world. As the fire died down and the night grew colder, Ayla remained by Tarek's side, her mind alive with questions, with ideas, with dreams. She knew that her journey was just beginning, that there was so much more to learn, to discover, but she also knew that she was not alone. The moon was her guide, her companion, her teacher, and with its light to guide her, she felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the modern world, far removed from the ancient forests and tribal fires, Dr. Samuel Hayes stood in a dimly lit room, surrounded by artifacts that spoke of a time long past. He was an archaeoastronomer, a scholar of the stars, a seeker of ancient knowledge. His work was to uncover the ways in which early humans had understood and interacted with the cosmos. And tonight, he was on the brink of a discovery that would change everything. The room was filled with relics, stone carvings, cave paintings, fragments of ancient calendars. Each one told a story, a fragment of the past that hinted at a deeper understanding of the universe. But it was one artifact in particular that had captured Samuel's attention, a small, intricately carved stone disc, its surface covered in symbols that seemed to depict the phases of the moon. He had found it in a remote cave, hidden away for thousands of years, waiting to be discovered. As Samuel studied the disc, he felt a thrill of excitement. This was no ordinary artifact, it was a lunar calendar, a tool used by ancient humans to track the cycles of the moon. But it was more than that. The symbols on the disc were not just markings, they were a language, a way of communicating with the cosmos. Samuel's mind raced with possibilities. What had these ancient people known about the moon? How had they used its cycles to shape their lives? And what secrets had they encoded in this disc, waiting to be uncovered? Samuel's fingers trembled as he traced the symbols, his mind working to decipher their meaning. He felt a connection to the past, to the people who had created this disc, who had looked up at the same moon that he now studied. He knew that this discovery would shed new light on the history of humanity, on the ways in which we had understood and interacted with the cosmos. And he knew that the moon, that ancient silent witness, held the key to unlocking the secrets of our past. As the night wore on, Samuel worked tirelessly, his mind consumed by the mystery of the disc, and as he worked, he felt a sense of awe, a deep appreciation for the moon's role in the story of humanity. It was more than just a celestial body, it was a guide, a teacher, a protector. It had shaped our world, our lives, our understanding of the universe, and it would continue to do so for as long as humanity looked to the stars and wondered. In the quiet of the room, Samuel felt a connection to the ancient past, to the people who had created the disc, to the moon itself. He knew that the story of the moon and early humanity was far from over, that there were still secrets waiting to be uncovered, mysteries waiting to be solved, and he knew that the moon, that eternal companion, would continue to guide us, to inspire us, to remind us of our place in the cosmos.